Good morning. It's nice to see everyone here today. I just wanted to stop by this morning and say hello and just stress to everyone how important municipal elections are. If you look for Massachusetts between the state, federal, and municipal elections, one of the most important elections that people take for granted, that has the biggest impact on their daily lives, is your town election, your election for school committee, and your board of selectmen and planning board. So just stress to everyone to please make sure that they get out and vote for their candidate. Good luck in 2 weeks on May 15th. Good luck today during the candidates hour. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Our town manager is here, Julie.
Hi, good morning. Is this working? Can you hear it? Okay. Just for the speakers to come, just make sure you're speaking to the microphone, because I was in the back, a little hard to hear, so make sure you're close to the microphone. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. I would echo the Senator's comments. This is really, local elections are critical, and just to have the opportunity to hear from the candidates and to hear what their positions are is a good thing for all the voters of Auburn. So we're glad that we're doing this. We're glad to have it televised. I think it's important because a number of people can't make a lot of meetings during the day. That's why it's been so important to use Auburn Community Television to get the word out to the community, to the taxpayers, to the residents about what's going on in town. So we look forward to it, and thank you for holding this. We thank the Council on Aging very much.
Okay. If I may, I'd like to recognize some of the folks that are here this morning. Joan Cassidy is the former selectman. Ann Weston from the Conservation Committee. Ed Kasanovich, the assistant town manager, and we have Lillian Halpin is a member of the Council on Aging and past state commander of the DAV Auxiliary. Carl Westerman, former selectman and president of Keeping Auburn Warm. Bob Grossman, selectman. Joe Hamill, local cable, and the bylaw committee. Everyone. And Ellen Gabriel, our town clerk, is here. Ellen, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Pat. Hello to everyone who is in attendance and anyone who will view this later. I would like to thank the Council on Aging for once again hosting this candidates forum. Our annual town election has moved to Tuesdays, and is this year being held May 15th as voted by town meeting last year. We will be in the gym at the Auburn High School from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for voting. All 5 precincts vote in that location. Absentee ballots are now available. The deadline for filing an application is noon on May 14th, the day before the election. There are applications available here at the Senior Center. I've left them on the desk over there. And if you're going to be out of town on the election day, or you have a physical limitation that prevents you from getting into the gym, then you're eligible to apply for an absentee ballot. Voting may be done in the office during office hours, or upon receipt of an application, we can mail the absentee ballot to you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call the office at 508-832-7701, and we'll be happy to answer your questions and help you through the process of absentee voting. Remember that applications for absentees must be submitted by noon on May 14th, the day before the election, and voting is Tuesday, May 15th. Please make every effort to exercise your right to vote, and thank you.
And once again, this forum is being presented as a community service, and it is really nice to have this opportunity to meet all of the candidates. There are 2 contested races this year. but we will go down the whole ballot based on the way it appears, and we will begin with the Auburn Housing Authority. Joyce Lamoureux, is she here this morning? All right. Library Trustees, Auburn Free Public. This is for 3 years. There are 2. Nan Johnson is a candidate for re-election. Nan. And Bruce Mendelsohn. Moving right on.
Bruce is here.
Would you like to say something, Bruce?
If you don't mind.
By all means.
Thanks.
Come on up.
I'll let you go first.
Break the ice.
Yeah, one first is good. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Senator, nice to see you as always. When discussing public speaking, a wise person once said, "Be brief and be gone." So I'm going to keep my remarks brief. My name is Bruce Mendelsohn, and I'm running unopposed for a 3-year term on the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees. I live in Auburn, and I work at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Just because I'm running unopposed doesn't mean I'm not running hard. And in fact, I feel strongly, as do many of you in our community with whom I've spoken during the course of my campaign, I feel strongly that we need to sustain and strengthen our Auburn Public Library. To do so, I intend to bring my creativity, motivation, energy, and knowledge of high tech. I feel especially strongly that we need to make the library's resources available to more people via online and distance learning. Recently, MIT announced a partnership with Harvard, and I worked closely on that. I worked closely to establish the parameters of that partnership, providing distance education to people around the country and, in fact, around the world. That's just some of the expertise that I intend to bring to the Auburn Public Library Board of Trustees, and I thank you for your support.
Library Trustee, Auburn Free Public, for a 2-year unexpired term, Suzette C. Dowd and Gary L. Hagenbuck.
Good morning. My name is Gary Hagenbush. I live at 151 Lester Street, apartment 2C. Can you all hear that okay back there? Okay, thank you. I'm a candidate for the Library Board of Trustees, the 2-year unexpired term. I was appointed back in January as interim trustee by a joint meeting of the Board of Selectmen and the Library Board of Trustees. I continued to use the library since I moved here 4 years ago, use it on a weekly basis. I appreciate the hard work and the dedication of Cindy Marcoux and the capable library staff. Library is an integral part of our community. It's there for everyone. It must continue to offer high-quality services, materials, and technologies to meet the ever-changing needs of all of our citizens, from the youngest to the oldest. I'm a retired teacher of elementary school. I taught for 35 years in Oxford, Princeton, and Worcester. I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Worcester State University, a master's degree in history from Assumption College, and I also have a master's degree in administration, planning, and social policy from the Harvard Graduate School of Education. When I retired from elementary teaching, I taught 5 years nationally for Lesley University. I was in the language and literacy division there, and I got to be in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Washington, as well as Georgia and throughout Massachusetts. And in that capacity, I was able to work with closely 35 libraries. We got to see what makes an effective library. I want to use my experiences from a wide range of settings and help the library continue to move forward during these difficult financial times. I believe I have the necessary energy, enthusiasm, and expertise to be a highly productive member of the Board of Trustees, and I look upon the last 4 months as my apprenticeship. There's a wonderful 3-minute video on the Auburn Public Library website that I would invite you to view. It's also been showing across from the circulation desk, and it's called Who Needs Libraries? Of course, the answer is we all do. It's a high-quality, highly effective video. It's put out by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, and it's bound to get your attention because it blends sports and libraries, and who doesn't like sports or library, one or the other, or both. It's about a typical day in the life of a library and how it meets the needs of its citizens. I've been an active member in the past on many boards: Historical Museum, Citizens Education Resource Center, French River Education Center, Worcester State Alumni Association, and others. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and pitch in to help move the library forward. All of us, everyone in Auburn, needs to be involved in the library. As patrons, volunteers, families, it's a gathering place and it's a center of the community. My view of the library is probably best summed up in a quote from Teddy Roosevelt: keep your eyes on the stars and keep your feet on the ground. In other words, think big, but also be practical. And one last personal note, I do have 3 children, one who is a college librarian, one who is a high school teacher, and my youngest one, my younger daughter, is due in from Haiti next week. She's been a Red Cross volunteer, or a Red Cross worker actually, for the last 2 years, coming into Haiti 2 months after the earthquake. I appreciate your vote, hopefully on May 15th, or not hopefully May 15th, but I appreciate your vote, and thank you for your time.
Moderator, Charles Baker. School Committee for 3 years, Wayne C. Page.
Good morning, everybody. Wayne Page. I live at 90 Old Common Road. I have 3 daughters, which one had passed recently, but she's still in my heart and always will be. I am unopposed this time, but I just want to let people know that I will continue doing the best I can for the education of our students in the town of Auburn, and to work with the town as a whole, between the municipalities and the schools. We need to come together and work together to make it better for our students and our town as a whole. I've done many policies in the school department, bullying policy. Budget is a big thing, and I've been there for 6 years and I know the budget. I'm sorry, this is a little hard for a second here. I'm trying to get myself back to where it should be. But the thing with me is we need to do a lot more work on is the special ed and the mandated state funding, that we need to get that money that we're not getting. We need to work more to go after the legislation in the Senate to give us more money for those programs that they mandate us to do, where they are underfunded now. I think I'm doing a good job as a school committee because nobody had run against me this year. I run opposed. And I want to thank everybody for that. And I will continue to do the best I can, like I said, for the students of the town. I've worked with the budgets many, many years. I've worked on contracts over 20 years between school and town and highway department. And I just want to continue. And one thing I just want to make perfectly clear today is that I am not accepting any donations from anybody because my position is unopposed. I thank you for the calls and everything I get for donations, but I am not taking any donations. I am opposed, and I don't feel right to be taking people's money for that reason. Hopefully we can work with the town to make sure that we get out to the vote for the new middle school, that the town residents get the vote because it is your tax dollars. There is going to be a little problem with school issues as far as buildings go because we have the middle school project coming up and we have BayPath project coming up. And I don't really know how our residents are going to be able to afford both. And in my opinion, I hope that people will look into the inner part of our town as the middle school to be the #1 because it is in our town and it is for our children. And I have no special interest. I'm not, all my children are out. I just care about the children and the education of our children in the town of Auburn. I lived in the town of Auburn for over 30 years. I continue on committees as school buildings committee, school building community outreach, zoning board of appeals. I am council of aging chairman. Sorry. But I just want to continue. I've worked on the Purple Hat Committee with some very good people and the Veterans Memorial Corridor. And it just excites me to be able to put my foot forward and help out the town of Auburn. And I feel I've always done that. And I think you people feel the same because you are returning me to this school position again. And the reason why I did run again is because I felt that I was making a difference, and that's why I went for the re-election. Thank you.
And the second individual for the school committee is George A. Scobie, Jr.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for hosting this event today. My name is George Scobie. I live up on 30 J Hill Road. I have been in Auburn for 7 years now. I have 2 boys, Benjamin and Cameron, 4 and 7 years old, just starting out in the Auburn Public Schools, so I have a lot at stake here, and that's what made me decide to run. I've been a part of the community as far as youth sports goes, a member of that First Congregational Church, and a lot of the children that I've come in contact with mean a lot to me. So therefore, I feel like I need to step up. It's my time. I'm one of those people that if I feel like I could do a better job, then I'm going to step up and do it. And that's not to say that the school committee's not doing a good job, but can I make it better? Yes, I can. I believe what I'll bring to the table is communication skills. I have a way of bringing people together. I've noticed some bitterness on a few of the different boards, and I just feel like I'm the kind of person that can get in there and make things work. I'm not an expert on anything. I do have an educational background, though. I've been teaching for 11 years now. I'm out at Bay Path. I'm a vocational instructor out there. I'm also an MTA member. I'm the vice president of my union out at Bay Path, which lets me see other sides of what goes on in the school system. I'm actually training at MTA seminars, so I get to see what happens on the other end. I've been part of collective bargaining training, and I've also done collective bargaining for our contracts at school. So that's going to allow me to see things from both sides and hopefully bring people together in a way that's going to improve our system. And again, that's not to say I don't like everything I've seen so far, but there's always room for improvement. As far as a couple of the projects that we have going on right now, the school building projects, the middle school is very important. I toured that facility. My children will be there in a few years. Yes, I believe that we need a new middle school, at least a major renovation. As far as Bay Path goes, I'm not here to speak on behalf of Bay Path. I don't want you to think that I'm here campaigning for that. I was actually a little bit uncomfortable at town meeting the other night when I was asked to hand out brochures for Bay Path, and then my name was mentioned in the same Bay Path speech. Didn't really sit well with me, but that's the way it went down. That's all I'll say about that. But as far as campaign for Bay Path, no, I'm here to campaign for myself. I'm here to campaign for the community of Auburn, and I'm here to campaign for our children. That's what it's all about. That's why I'm stepping up. But on the Bay Path note, I just want you to understand that Bay Path is as much our school as the middle school is. We own a part of Bay Path. We might own the whole middle school, but together with the other towns, we own Bay Path. So it's just one way of thinking about it. I'm not telling you which way to vote. Give it some thought. Give the middle school some thought. And what we can afford, we can afford. As far as finances go, I'm a public employee, so I'm unable to ask for any donations. My committee has been asking for donations, as far as I can see, and I believe the reason behind that was my committee wanted me to come off as someone who really cares. Not someone who's going to backdoor their way onto a committee, but someone who wants their name out there, and someone who wants people to know that I care. I just wanted to clear that up.
I hope that the next 3 years I can do a fantastic job. As I said, I bring people together, making some new friends. Auburn has been great to us, my family that is, over the past 7 years. And I just want to pay back a little bit of some of the joy that we found in town. So whatever I can do to help out the schools, to help out the children, to help out you people, to help the community. And I believe that's what it's all about. We're all in this together, and we need to make it work. So that's why I'm stepping up, and on May 15th, I appreciate your vote for the school committee. Thank you.
And now for the Board of Selectmen, for 3 years, Doreen M. Goodrich, candidate for the election.
Good morning, everyone. I too want to thank the Council on Aging for sponsoring this event this morning. Not a good way to start, I put the frog in my throat. And thank the viewers who will take the time to watch this forum from now until May 15th, when they make their decision on their vote. As Pat said, my name is Doreen Goodrich. I've lived in Auburn for 22 years. I'm married to Howie, and we have 2 boys, Sean and Keith. I've served on the Board of Selectmen for 3 years and currently serve as its chair. As a board member over the last 3 years, I've supported a recommendation of limited new growth in capping the increase of property taxes to 1.25%. This action has kept $4.1 million in the pockets of taxpayers while minimizing tax increases and has built up excess levy to a projected $1.8 million as presented in the fiscal year 2013 budget. I've continually supported a small business exemption that offers 10% exemption for businesses valued at under $1 million with 10 or less employees. I recognize that small businesses' contribution is an important factor in Auburn's economic growth and will continue to support opportunities for their success. Over the same time period, I've supported the use of tax levy dollars to enhance the town road reconstruction of roads and the implementation of our mandated stormwater management program. As a member of the board, I hope the entire Board of Selectmen continues to prioritize our main streets and neighborhood town roads and look forward to ways to increase the town's budget that meets an acceptable standard. I'm committed to quality education and have endorsed, along with the entire Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, and Town Meeting, the funding last year of Auburn full-day kindergarten. Our children will help shape our future in Auburn, and we must provide them with a solid academic and curriculum program which meets or exceeds current acceptable standards. Over the last 3 years, I have supported dedicated funding to the town stabilization fund, totaling $1.3 million. I also supported the CFO's financial plan to enhance our bond rating. I'm pleased to report to you today that the town recently improved its bond rating to a AA3, which will allow the town to borrow funds at a significantly lower rate and save the taxpayers thousands of dollars. I'm proud to say that I supported the construction of our recreation facility. Our residents deserve a state-of-the-art complex, a place that they can call home. Our families can now enjoy the multiple baseball and soccer fields, softball fields, walking trails, and a cultural arts pavilion. This gym is scheduled to open on June 2nd, and it wouldn't have been possible without the generous donation from Dr. Arthur and Dr. Martha Kappas, and to them we are grateful. I'll continue to work tirelessly on behalf of our elders and veterans. I voted and supported initiatives to give our elders tax relief through our work-off program and continued commitment to index our exemption values for qualifying seniors, low-income, and disabled veterans. I also value the hard work and dedication from our town employees. They have made personal sacrifices and stepped up to the plate in dealing with some difficult economic financial times. To them, I am truly grateful. It really has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your selectman for the last 3 years. I've been humbled by it, and I respectfully ask for your vote on Tuesday, May 15th. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Timothy Hicks.
Good morning. Thank you very much to the Council on Aging for hosting this very important forum. My name is Tim Hicks, and I'm a candidate for re-election to the Auburn Board of Selectmen. I'm 42 years old. I live at 2 Bridle Path with my wife Diane and our family. I have a bachelor's degree in business management from Assumption College, and I have over 20 years of professional private sector experience, the last 13 of which have been as a sales representative for Abbott Laboratories, where I promote products that treat medical conditions such as prostate cancer and endometriosis. I served on the board from 1996 to 2002, but in 2002 I had just started, as I said, in the pharmaceutical industry and felt that the time was right for me to focus more on my career and my family and learning my new job. So I stepped away in 2002, and between 2002 and 2009 we had some really outstanding select people who did great work specifically in the areas of education and public safety. But by 2009, I felt like I had identified some key areas where we were in need, and I felt like I could help. So in 2009, I felt that the time was right to get back in and run for a seat on the Board of Selectmen again. The 3 key areas that I wanted to work in were infrastructure, fiscal responsibility, and accountability. Taking infrastructure first, by 2009, we were investing $0 in actual comprehensive paving programs locally. We were relying pretty much exclusively on Chapter 90 state aid for that. And in times of a recession, the state aid wasn't what it should be. And as a result, when I was talking to people 3 years ago, the roads truly were the #1 concern of the people in our community. During the first budget that I was a part of, and the 2 subsequent ones, basically for 3 years in a row now, we've been investing just under $500,000 in our roads program to couple that with the state money. And from Packagug Street to Prospect Street, Boy Street, Rockland Road, Millbury Street, and a lot of other areas in between, we are now starting to catch up on the road program. And I know this year we're going to start focusing on some of those side roads that maybe aren't as well traveled as the streets that I've just mentioned, but haven't been paved in sometimes 30 or 40 years, and they're long overdue. And I'm glad that I've been a part of that investment in the road program, and if I continue on the board, I look forward to seeing that continue. Fiscal responsibility. During much of the last decade, our town government was automatically assuming at or near a 2.5% increase. We can raise taxes 2.5% under Prop 2.5, so that's what we were doing. When I got on the board, I started to ask, why should we automatically assume a 2.5% increase? We asked, and as Doreen said, we asked the town employees to step up and help out the community, and they did, and joined with us so that we could bring budgets together to town meeting that went up not 2.5%, but 1.25 or less. On the area of fiscal responsibility, we had also had a situation where our bond rating had been, during my prior terms on the Board of Selectmen, we had an upgrade to A1. And our bond rating, that A1 rating allowed us to go out for bonds at a much better interest rate. And Ed Casanova is here in the audience, so I don't want to quote him directly, but I know that he said that the savings that we had going out in an A1 bond rating for the high school versus an A2 was well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But shortly after that, the town had made some decisions relative to financing that downgraded us to an A2 rating. So when I ran in 2009, I vowed that I would work with the administration to get an upgrade back to an A1. Well, we didn't get up to an A1. We actually did better than that. We went from an A2 over an A1 to a double A3. So I'm very, very proud of that. And also in accountability. During the 90s and the early 2000s, we regularly evaluated on an annual basis the executive secretary and then later town administrator. But from 2002 to 2009, that wasn't getting done, and I felt that that when the voters put you in a position of Board of Selectmen, I feel that it's valuable to give a manager or an administrator an annual performance evaluation. That's accountability that voters should expect. And I also pledged to voters that if I got back on the board, we would start that process again. And I'm proud to say that we are now giving positive feedback to the town manager through the annual review process. So very, very pleased that that's happening again. While we have been fiscally responsible, we also haven't forgotten the folks that need our services, such as kindergartners. We are now instituting a full-day kindergarten program that used to cost parents $2,100 if they wanted to take advantage of that. I'm very happy that that now can be provided for them within the tax dollars that they pay to the community. We've also expanded the tax abatement process for senior citizens who are on fixed incomes. Folks that 3 years ago may not have found that they had the income qualifications to actually take advantage of the abatement process. After mine and other members of the board's action, they now can qualify and get the help that they both need and deserve. So those are just a few accomplishments that I wanted to talk about. And over the next 3 years, I want to continue on our strong footing of fiscal responsibility, on providing core services to people, and just make sure that our infrastructure improvements that we've made over the past 3 years continue. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking the time to hear me today. On Tuesday, May 15th, you have two choices for the Board of Selectmen. My name is Timothy E. Hicks, and I respectfully request that you consider me with one of your votes. Thank you very much.
Our next candidate is Kenneth A. Holstrom.
Good morning, all. My name's Ken Holstrom, and I'm at 273 Central Street in Auburn. A little nervous today. I'm not much of a public speaker, but I do want to assure you that I am a candidate for selectman. Not only am I a candidate for selectman, I want to be a selectman. My family's been here since the late 1880s. My folks have had businesses at Drury Square right through the late 1980s. We've come here, we've been grown up here, and now we live at 273 Central Street with my wife Kim, and my daughter graduated from the Auburn school system in 1999. She now lives in Franklin, Massachusetts with her husband John. What I'd like to see happen here in town is me bring a little bit of value to the Board of Selectmen just by my past experiences here. I'm a retired member of the Auburn Fire Department, 42 years. As I stepped down from the Auburn Fire Department, I was requested to be the Emergency Management Director. I took on that position, and we've accomplished several things since then. I work as an engineer for an insurance company evaluating boilers and mechanical equipment, and so I have a wide background of experience, and I hope to bring that to the Board of Selectmen. If I may, I'm not very good at this, so I'm going to try to grab my notes as I can. I do want to run for the Board of Selectmen because I do care about the town. I have lived here, my family's grown up here, and I've seen a lot of the operation of the town. I was on the Charter Review Committee, and the charter needed to be upgraded. It's not been upgraded since the 1960s, and I found that the new charter we have now has allowed us a new town manager who's done a great job with her administration. I want to work with that charter. I want to continue to progress the town. I want it to be vibrant, and I want it to be progressive as I've seen it go as I've been growing up. My parents were business people here. I worked here in town in the business for a little while before they closed them, and I went on to school as an engineer, and so hopefully my experience get some more growth to the town. We need some growth to get a better tax base. The tax revenue is here. It will help us out all the way around. It will make us progress, and that's what I want to be part of, and that's why I'm here asking for your vote It's not only, again, I'm not only a candidate, I want to be a selectman. So please, Tuesday, May 15th, I ask for your vote. Thank you.
And Michael A. Robidoux. Is Mr. Robidoux here? All right. That will bring all of our candidates to an end.
Pat, Ellen.
Ellen, have we? Yes, how could we forget Ellen?
Hello again. I am a candidate for re-election for town clerk. I feel privileged and honored to serve as your town clerk. The voters of Auburn chose to elect me in 2003, and I am very pleased and encouraged by the outpouring of support in my bid for re-election for my fourth term. The clerk's office is considered the gateway to town government, and therefore the position of elected town clerk is very important because from my office, we disseminate information for residents and non-residents. Auburn has a history of good town clerks who have set a tone of service that is appreciated by anyone who has contact with the office. I know this because of the feedback I receive from customers. Voters have always supported experience, knowledge, honesty, and fairness in the customer service received through the clerk's office. Residents of Auburn, as well as others who interact with the town clerk's office, deserve to be treated with respect and consideration. I will continue to serve this town to the best of my ability. I care about Auburn. My family has 5 generations that have lived or are living in town. My grandparents moved here in the late 1930s. My parents raised myself and 3 brothers in Auburn. I married and raised 2 daughters in Auburn, and one of my daughters is currently living in Auburn, and I'm raising 3 children. I have a long history in this town. I've known it from rural to more developed, and I really do care about Auburn. I appreciate your votes. May 15th. Thank you.
On behalf of the Council on Aging, a sincere thank you to all of the participants as well as all that have come out this morning to listen. And a reminder for seniors that should you need transportation to the polls, please contact the Senior Center at 508-832-7799, and transportation will be arranged for you. Please join us for coffee and refreshments and hopefully conversation with all of the candidates. A special thank you to the Friends Group FASCA for coordinating the coffee hour this morning. Thank you again.